Yes, let's put ourselves in Anjali position and let's do the opening puja. Let us pay respects to the Triple Gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Let us pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Please put our palms together to partake in offerings to the Buddha. The offering of the 5 items allows us to express our gratitude to the Buddha and serves as a symbol to help us remember the teachings. Please join in and read the verses together. Offering of light. Light symbolizes wisdom. May the light of Dhamma dispel the darkness of ignorance. Offering of incense. Incense symbolizes the fragrance of pure moral conduct. This reminds us to cultivate good conduct. Offering of water. Water symbolizes purity, clarity, and calmness. It reminds us to practice the Buddha's teachings to cleanse one's mind, which is full of desires, ill will, and delusion, to attain the state of purity. Offering of fruits. Fruits symbolize the ultimate fruit of enlightenment, which is our goal. They also remind us that all actions will have their effects. Offering of flowers. Flowers symbolize impermanence. The freshness, fragrance, and beauty of flowers are impermanent. This reminds us that we should all live in the present. Remembering thus, we should reduce our craving and attachment. We chant these verses for taking the 3 refuges. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. We chant these verses to observe the 5 precepts. Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadatthana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Let us recollect the sublime qualities of the Buddha. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati. Let us recollect the sublime qualities of the Dhamma. Swakato bhagavata Dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko opanaiko pacchatang veditabo vinyuhiti. Let us recollect the sublime qualities of the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa pugala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyaketang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, welcome again to Buddhist Fellowship, and to those who are online, good morning. Let's start with the announcements first before I invite Sister Sylvia Bay to give the talk. Next week we have Bhante Sravasti Dhammika, who will be speaking on what's the hurry. And after that we have Dr. Ng Yen Yen, who will be streaming live, won't be here, and then followed by Bhante Sumana, who will be on site in person, okay, on the 27th. Okay, and then we also have Sunday afternoon talks by Bhante Dhammika on the 20th and 27th. You just need to zoom in, okay, at 4:30. Dhamma Foundation course already on. We have covered 2 lessons, but you are always welcome to join anytime because videos and the slides will be available, will be sent to you, the link will be sent to you. So for those who are still interested in joining, Sister Sylvia Bay will be conducting until April 9th, and then we have a sort of Samadhi workshop on 15th to 16th, a full day retreat. BF Junior Youth for ages 13 to 16, Saturdays 3 to 5. Please look at the there's no lesson for the next two weeks. Okay, then 26, they have mindfulness of breathing. BF Junior for ages 7 to 9 and 10 to 12, 6 March and 27th March, the next Zoom session. Anapanasati meditation already full, so I think there is no places, so look out for the next one in May to June. For DFC2 students also you can apply, but it's already full. Today is the first session. Help build our Dhamma home. Do go to bfdhammahome.org for any of the 4 ways to help us pay for our home. Okay, Sis Sylvia Bay. Today we'll be talking about finding time for daily practice. Okay, do I need to read the intro to your bio, Sis Sylvia? Okay, I think everyone knows her. Okay, if you don't know her, please read it on the bio on Facebook. Welcome again, Sis Sylvia. Thank you for joining us.
Let's start with some meditation, shall we?
Yes.
It's got switched off. Okay, thank you. Come. Upright. We do 10 minutes, shall we?
Yes.
Lights off. I invite all of you to close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Off the lights. One more there. Take 3 deep breaths. Deep in. As deep as you can go. Then when you exhale, when you breathe out, slowly. Do it slowly. Deep in. Make sure the breath fills the lungs. And then when you breathe out, again slowly. And the third one, slowly out. Look at the point of contact between your body and a surface, and a hard surface. You can start the meditation with anchoring the mind on the body. So scan your body slowly. Scan the body slowly. And quietly observe the contact point between your body and a hard surface. So between your buttocks and the floor is 1. But there are many more. Your mission this morning is to slowly identify, spot the contact of your body with a hard surface, with another surface. And you do it slowly. Make sure you don't miss a spot. From the tip of your head to your neck, to the shoulder. Some of you may assume you already know all the contact points. Maybe. In mindfulness practice, we don't assume. We note point by point. We note. When you see a point which is most obvious, put your attention there. The most obvious point of contact. Put your attention there. And observe more. To yourself, see if you can describe to yourself the features of the contact point. There is pressure. Is the pressure constant or not? What can you describe about that contact point? See if you can keep the attention there. For as long as it takes for you to see details in the features of the contact point. As you observe this contact point, as you observe the body, you become aware that the body is breathing on its own. The body is breathing on its own. Don't will it, don't force it, just let it do its own job. Breathing is subtle. Observe the rhythm of the breathing. Rises and falls. It's a certain rhythm. In your mind, quietly say, I am content. I am content. And I'm grateful for this life. If you feel joy, say grateful. I'm grateful for this life. May my family be able to experience this joy one day. Now take 3 deep breaths. Bring the mental energy down. Let it flow down to the heart level. Take 3 deep breaths. Before you open your eyes, please stretch. Wake up the body, stretch. Let me just explain a few things about the sitting. Some of you are very seasoned practitioners, very seasoned meditators, so you don't need my help. For the rest of you who are relatively new to this, and maybe this is your first time has a proper conducted sitting, I'm explaining this for you, for your benefit. Typically in a meditation session, we don't have to do so many things. But I want you to get a flavor of the different kinds of object that we use to hold the attention of the mind. What we're doing is holding the attention of the mind. And the more seasoned meditator amongst you would know what are when I'm changing object. But the rest of you may not be as familiar. So these are the following objects I use. One, your body, right? I said, put your attention on the body, look for the contact points. The point of contact between your body and the surface, right? How many of you did that well? Meaning your mind never drifted. You were able to look for the contact point and you went flow with it. How many of you? Okay, now I ask you, how many points did you find? Only 1 point. The leg. It's all related to the leg. Any? Huh? Okay, anything else? Anybody notice anything else about your body? Contact points? You all do my mask, is it? See, the sharper your mindfulness, the more subtle contact you can find. So if, for those of you who wear glasses, who wear watches, who wear masks, who wear clothes. Now that I say, look at your contact point, clothes, immediately you all spot the clothes. The sharper your mindfulness, the more points you can find. So at home, you can do this on your own. Sit quietly, relax, must be relaxed, and then you slowly scan the body and look for the contact, the points of touch, if you like, the points of touch. So one, the body. Second, I said, if you look at the body, it is breathing on its own. So the second object is breathing. It's rising, falling, rising, falling. And the third object is a mental one. I said, be grateful. Feel the joy, be grateful. These are mental states. You're using these mental states because they're very joyous. Because they're very joyous, your attention will stay longer. And then, one of the last thing I did was, if you feel joy, make the wish that your family would one day also experience this joy. I said something like this, remember? And that's actually another object. Because for those of you who managed to get to joy, feel a little sense of pleasure, pleasantness, right? How many of you felt that? Pleasantness. When you came to a part about feeling gratitude, did you feel joy, a little bit of it? Then I said, make this wish that your family will one day experience it. What happened? Did the joy grow or shrink? Did it grow or shrink? It should grow. If you love your family, the family members that you love, at the point when you say, I wish that they too will experience, I guarantee you the joy will swell. And that's for meditation to work, for attention to stay, the object has to bring you joy, pleasure. There has to be that. So if for whatever reason in your meditation you find that you are getting a little agitated, there is restlessness, actually at that point you may want to just stop. Trying to discipline it may not, in fact there's a very high chance it will not yield the result you want. So you might as well stop. Do something else. Okay? Today is not a class on meditation. Today is a class on Dhamma practice. But I spend a longer time with the meditation and making an effort to explain because invariably this will have that component of meditation. Okay? But meditation is not everything. Dhamma practice doesn't equal meditation. I stress, Dhamma practice doesn't equal meditation. In fact, you can meditate and it's nothing to do with Dhamma practice. Agree? You can meditate. There's a lot of secular mindfulness out there and they charge a lot of money. I should go and do business, man. Earn some money for BF. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of secular mindfulness there. How much of that is actually Dhamma? Not a lot. Okay? It's not a lot. They may have components, parts, but this is like Chinese 猫排货. The component parts get corrupted or get a bit contorted. So it's lost that Dhamma part. Okay? Now, daily life. How many of you, in the course of life, on a daily basis, right? How many of you would say that I got not a lot of time to practice lah? I don't really have a lot of time to practice. How many of you would say that? You're the honest one. The rest all got problem. Shy, I don't want to say. But I like you. Okay? How many of you can identify with this? Many years ago, many years, like 30 years back, I used to have this. Because for me, in my mind, the more practice equals meditation, ma. Then I say, ayah, very hard leh. Got to put aside an hour. Well, even half an hour, it's tough. Actually, it's about priorities lah. You all have time to watch TV. You have time to go out for meals with friends and family. You have time to do your own quiet enjoyment reading, but no time for Dhamma. So it's really about priorities, okay? And I ask this question, what do we value more? Do you value your pleasure, sensual pleasure, or do you value spiritual joy? And then you say, of course, that's spiritual joy lah, whatever that is. The problem is because we don't feel that joy yet. Dhamma practice, your reward is the spiritual joy. Just remember that. If you feel deep joy, as you know, just by breathing air you feel joy, right? The Dhamma is now in your mind and in your heart. Literally, just by breathing air you feel joy. Dhamma is in your heart. Because that's what it means. Then, for those of you, I recognize some faces here. You've been listening, you've been practicing, you've been trying to incorporate, you've gone for DFC classes and all, right? Quietly, just finger up, okay. Do you feel more joy these days? Do you feel better this joy? Yeah? It should be like this, okay? It should get even more. Now, don't you love my flowers? All these little pictures. Took me a day to find them, okay? So appreciate them. The point I want to make here is Dhamma is not apart from your daily life. In fact, Dhamma should be embedded in your life. Embedded. Making sure that the two are in sync. The question is, how do we do that? Okay, we will remove the question mark, but it's actually 7 things. 7 things that you can do to embed the Dhamma in your life. 7 things. Affirm faith, be generous, be wholesome, be generous, reflect on mortality, cultivate contentment, time of the mind, read a little Dhamma. I will go through them all. Okay? I'll go through them all. 1. Affirm faith daily. Now, Saddha, Pali word saddha, conviction, trust, confidence. If I don't use the word faith, these are the other words I will use. Trust, confidence, conviction. It's a mental state. A mental state means it comes and it goes according to the condition. It arises, but it can also fade away, depending on condition. That is why you want to, on a daily basis, for yourself, design your own ritual. You don't listen to people who say, must be like that. Your finger signals must be like that. When you bow, must be like that. There is no must be like that. In the time of the living Buddha, when people visited him, lay people, when they visited him, some of them will call him friend, Mr. So ascetic Gautama, right? It's Mr. Gautama. Call him by his family clan name. The point is, if before the living Buddha there were no rules, why before a statue we have rules? Doesn't make sense, right? Before the living Buddha there were no rules. There were like scores of people, lots of people will go to him. Some will bow. So the moment they bow, you know these are his disciples. They were very close to him. They truly admire him. Some would just, sir, my name is, I am from. Why like this? Because ancient India, it is polite to introduce yourself in the context of your family and village. Singapore, no more. I mean, seriously, Sylvia from Ghim Moh doesn't make sense. Right? So we don't have this in Singapore. But they had that then. Some would just stand there quietly, like backbencher like that, or sit there quietly, observing from afar. Cannot quite decide, for this, am I for this or am I against this? Cannot decide. So they have all kinds of pattern. And therefore, today you can also have all kinds of pattern. But it must be a pattern, you want to follow a certain flow, a certain sequence for yourself. Why? Because that sequence, the action helps you to remember, helps you to tell yourself, I have chosen to be a Buddhist or a follower of the Buddha because I believe in the teaching, because I don't know where else to go. But some people will say like that, okay, the choices are not a lot. don't know, okay? But the best answer I would say, because I believe in the teaching. Because there's something about the teaching that will help me lead a more fulfilling, wholesome life. And if you're Buddhist, what does it mean? It means you believe that this life ending with this body doesn't mean there is no more rebirth. It means you believe in another life coming after you, and there are other lives, and there are other lives. This belief that life doesn't end just at death, this belief is what makes you want to return to a teaching that will protect you in future births. Because if you don't understand the rules of rebirth, the conditions that will generate a good rebirth, if you don't understand that, you think you can figure out the answers on your own and guarantee yourself a good birth down the line? No, you can't. You cannot guarantee that. So by affirming faith, by reminding ourselves why we are practicing, it is really also to protect not just in this life, but in future lives. So that life until it ends with your future successors nibbana. Until that ends, you will always return to the Dhamma. You will always return to a teaching that will ensure that it's a good rebirth. You don't end up in the wrong place, and then you will find millenniums to return to a human birth. You won't end up in that state. You don't waste time and end up in the wrong state. You will always stay human, if not better. Maybe get promotion. Okay? Maybe. And you can continue to practice. Okay. No fixed rules. Remember that? No fixed rules. So what would I recommend? Somebody would just put in a question. Sister Sylvia, what would you recommend? I recommend the following. Take a bow before the Buddha. If you have a Buddha Rupa, just take a bow. Doesn't take a lot of you. If you know the simple chanting, simple one, Namo Tassa only. My expectation very low. But if you, on a full moon, new moon, on a special day, you really want it to be different, then you go the full chant. After you chant, make sure you read it again in English. What's the point of chanting in a language you don't understand? You know, it's like singing your national anthem, don't understand some of the words. But the music very nice. Why do you think of chanting got music? Why do you think of chanting got music? So that you don't get bored. Because it's a language you don't understand. In the time of the Buddha, there is no music. In fact, the Buddha doesn't like intonation, this musical tone. Buddha didn't like it, There was a sutta where the Buddha said, don't focus on the musical aspects of the discourse, the chanting. Don't have the music. Don't have the na. Because, he said, a day will come when people are more fixated about the intonation than about the meaning of the words. And they will lose it. Correct, right? This is what's happening, right? Some of you, when you're chanting, oh gosh, everybody's going up, why am I going down? Ayah, like that, how? Ayah, I don't know the words, I don't like chanting, cannot follow them. No need, don't need all these things. Have it simple. Have it really simple. But remember, why am I here? Okay, so every time you go before the Buddha, take a bow and say, I'm here because I want to understand the teaching, I want to incorporate the teaching in my daily life, I want to be a better person, lead a happier life. Something like this. It's just a reminder that if this life ends, I want to return to the Dhamma. Very important. You kena accident, then like that go how? You want to create the right habits. Creating the right habits, make sure that if something hit you on the head and you go like this, right? You don't, oh, what's this place, You don't end up in that situation. Create the right habit to protect yourself. That's the point, okay? Be wholesome. I believe that many of you kind of know this. Some of you know it very well. So now I ask you, being wholesome means what? How do you observe this? And every time there's this deadly silence, I will turn to my first line of defense. What do you think? Wow, you're so high level there. She wants you all to be kind and observe the four right effort. That one is Eileen's level. Minimally. Just now you 5 precept. Minimally 5 precept. Just remember that. In the time of the Buddha, until he introduced the 5th precept, it used to be 4 precepts. No, avoid killing, avoid taking life, avoid taking things not given to you, avoid sexual misconduct, avoid lying. Those were really the basic Go any lower, you will follow, go lower. Do you understand? It's really the basic. But you know, even the basic people want to ask for discount. White lie, is it lie, huh? That's asking for discount from Buddha. You shy or not? Any knowing, if you say something with the intention to fudge the truth, that actually counts as musawada. You might as well hold it, don't say it. Because musawada, the problem with telling untruth, right? Musawada, telling untruth. The problem with that is it requires construction in your mind. And every time you construct something to mislead another, your mind is learning it's okay to be fuzzy with reality. So for us who is on a path that takes us to understand the mind as it is, understand reality as it is, by constructing delusion or a fake reality, by doing that, you are creating confusion for your own mind. So for those people who ask me, is it okay to tell white lie? I will say every time you concoct a white lie, white means it's not harming people. What does it mean by white lie, right? All these multicolored ones. It means the lie doesn't hurt people. In fact, maybe it helped people, but it didn't help you because your mind is now compromising understanding of reality. You do that, now surely you're not doing that one time only, right? I have only 3 passports to tell 3 white lies in my entire lifetime. I must use it wisely. Do you have this kind of situation? You may. There are a lot of people listening online. I don't know. There might be people who say, once in a while, okay lah. Go and tell 99 truth ma, only 1 wrong ma. They add up lah. They will add up. And at some point, the mind gets confused. I've seen for myself, when someone who is fuzzy with the truth, fuzzy, right, couldn't tell the difference between complete truth and fudged truth. Couldn't tell. The person was recounting the event like it's real. Because this person absolutely believes it's the truth. So kena already. This is called kena already. Affected already. And it goes the same for us all. Okay? Just remember that. Not just the 5 precepts. This one, right speech and action. Easier said than done. Every time you get upset, right speech means don't let those angry words out. So we tone it down to, got like that meh? Instead of rubbish, got like that meh? The intent is to, a bit lah. Right? Easier said than done. When you're angry, we're anxious, you're very anxious, your child is out late, he promised to be back at 10 o'clock, but now it's 10:25, he's not back. Then he came in 10:30 and, why you so late? Why? You earlier, la, 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 la. Instead of, oh dear, I was so worried for you. It's like, then he back at you, and then, but you all go to bed at 12 o'clock after fighting with each other for a long time. Doesn't make sense. So, right speech, remember, is the following. Lying is out. Harsh words, it's out. Slandering. Then you say, we never slander. You got gossip about people or not? Your intent to gossip is to do what? When you tell people about another person, what was your intent? Vent my anger. What do you think happens to that person's mind when you vent your anger? Innocently you vented. What do you think is happening to the other person's mind? Developing a negative view of whoever you are complaining against. Then you say, no, that was not my intention, but you vented. When people vent to you, when another vented to you, and you listen, I assume you're listening instead of playing with your phone. Okay, you're listening, right? Then what happened to your mind? Got a bit of a bad view of the other person, a little bit lah. Because you're very well practiced, you can control your mind. It's just a bit tainted. Tainted, right? What did the Buddha say about slandering? The intent is to create a wedge between people. You may not have the intent to create a wedge, but your action will lead to that. And you didn't care because I need to vent. So this right speech means avoiding that. Avoiding a situation where through your words, others are hurt unwittingly. And finally, the most difficult, because every time I introduce this, people complain, which is, in Pali, it's called sampapalapa. It means frivolous speech. And the example typically given is the weather, politics, and And then people go, innocent ma, they are very innocent, they don't talk lor. That what you think is noble silence? Okay, the cute part about this sampapalapa, the cute part is this. You know how much we enjoy talking, right? Some do lah. But you know how people do, let me ask you. You sit with a friend, both of you are Dhamma, into the Dhamma. Then you sit and you share knowledge of the Dhamma. You enjoy it, right? You have you derive a lot of joy from that. That's good. That's not sampapalapa, that's good. Buddha says Dhamma talk good. Why? You derive pleasure from this conversation, but it's wholesome pleasure. Because at the end of this conversation, both of you will go away very inspired to tame the mind, to tame the negativities, to make it wholesome. You're very inspired. You will be wholesome. But any other conversations, any other topics that get us stronger in craving, stronger in anger, stronger in delusion, all those activities, the Buddha say, waste time. Because it creates within us this delight in craving, lobha, greed. So any conversation that leads to, think of the greed, anger, and delusion. Think of them like a stock market. Prices can go up and down. So you engage in them, all those negativities go up in you. At the end of the conversation, you get angrier, get greedier. Not good lah. So basically, that's what it means. Right speech, right action. Right. This is only speech, And over and above that, right speech also means the words that come out should be nice sounding, should lift people's spirit, should be spoken gently. So coming from the heart from the right place, the words that come out is very nice. It is honest, because if it's very nice but dishonest, it becomes flattery, hypocrisy. So it has to be honest and timely. Why timely? Sometimes no one wants to listen, or you mean very well. You mean it very kind, very well. But if this is said at the wrong time, the fellow's not ready to listen, you release those words, you just could make him turn off. No point. If you don't know how to be timely when you say something, what it means is you cannot hold your tongue. Too impatient. There is this part in you that says, say it, then you say it. cannot hold back. And so forth. Huh? So that's right speech. Right speech, gentle, pleasant to the ears, timely, factual, with kindness, metta, friendliness, with the other person's welfare at heart. And there is softness when you say it. Sometimes have you seen parents, right, telling their children, for your own good, and objectively, without the tone and all, it is for the child's good. But they have so much anger when they say the child doesn't feel the good, they only feel the anger. Which means that the recipient cannot catch your goodness, all leak away. So just bear all these in mind. You can bear these advice in mind. I can guarantee you, you will not have problems in relationship. Somebody will say, yeah, but I got very unreasonable people and they're not nice, la 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 la, and all these things, right? Be that as it may. So you will have problem with this one person because this one person has problems. But if you have problems with a whole village of people, that is not their fault. The problem lies with you. People got so many enemies, one. Like a whole busload of people all say, hey, this passenger must get down. We all cannot take it. And then the problem doesn't lie with the person, it lies with you. And how do you prepare? Right speech, right action. Speech, right speech. Learn how to do it right, life is much easier. Okay? Cultivate goodness and kindness. Cultivate means, in the course of a day, be proactive. You see a person in need, do it. See a person in need, do it. Be compassionate and help another. You see all these pictures, so pretty, right? Metta towards all. Okay, the cat doesn't look very metta. But that's a butterfly, what do you expect him to feel? Metta, friendly towards all, meaning, okay, now with the mask up very hard, so you must train your eyes to smile. Your eyes can smile, people can. Did you notice over the past 2 years, right, of being masked up, we're getting really good at reading each other's eyes expression. Where once upon a time you don't see it very well, right? Now we're getting really quite good. Your brain will improvise. So in the past, when you used to smile widely, but the smile doesn't reach the eyes, now people know. Okay? Be humble and respectful. You know why? Why all these, we know that, but why you introduce this humility and respectful, right? Humility tone down your instinctive sense of entitlement. All of us have a shadow. Think of your ego, right? Like that shadow. So every time you see a shadow, you remember, keep the ego in check. This sense of what's mine, what's right, what I'm entitled to respect, a very deep, big sense of yourself. This part about you, I'm special, I'm different, I'm this, I'm that, that part of you gets us into trouble. Causes the tension in relationship with people. So the bigger your shadow, the more it will langar into another person's shadow, right? They will overlap, they'll langar. So if you shrink that to the minimal, to the bare minimum, you won't clash that much with others. Okay? So humility and respectful. Respect another individual, meaning you tell yourself, this other person, I can learn something from. This respect helps you to learn from another. It is not just about cordial relationship, but it makes you receptive. it helps you with metta. They are all synergistic. All of them will help each other. If you don't believe me, all you need to do is in your mind quietly, you say, I have gratitude. The joy comes up, right? I'm grateful. I'm deeply grateful. At the point when you say, I'm grateful, you'll be also humble. You also have respect. You're also willing to help. So all these positive mental states have a way of helping their friends. They all help their friends. In the same way, your negative mental states will also help each other. So from one, it blossoms to others. You get angry, very quickly you will get worried or anxious or agitated. And it goes on. You're frightened. Sometimes when you're frightened, you will scold out. You will scold. When you're frightened, someone shock you, like, hey, why you do that to me? Something like that. All these guys, all these mental states are very cute. They can come together very quickly. So the wrong ones will come together, the right ones will also come together. Just remember that. You pick one out, you just bring one in, and the rest may just follow. It's not a very good thing. So keep your mind wholesome as much as you can. Patience, gratitude, etc., etc., etc. So all these wholesome mental states, make sure they are part of your life daily. Daily. I will strongly and urge you to put a little page aside in your handphone. So these days I don't say write in your journal, right? Put it into your handphone, that ubiquitous thing that goes with you everywhere. Take a page, and in that page, you write some of these things for yourself. Today I was kind. Today so list down the positive mental states and put a slash as the negative one. That list of the positive one better be longer than the negative ones. I was angry once today, but I was kind 5 times. Why am I counting this? I'm not asking you to nitpick. I want you to be aware. I don't want this day to pass unnoticed by you. It was a good day. You have helped people. Many kind acts were conducted. You go and serve somewhere. Okay, I think you will just gonna feel all the place. But for you is to have a visual reflection, something you can connect with. If you don't write it down, yesterday was just past, right? Yesterday was just over. You don't remember anymore. But if you had written down last night, you would have remembered. And you don't have to I don't need you to write details. I just need you to write, today I helped this fella, it makes me feel really good. It's there. For the day, you have been wholesome. For this day, for this period, you have been kind. It's just a short little reflection, okay? If I ask you, how much time did you spend in your head and it's all about yourself? And how much time did you spend embracing another in your mind? I don't go around and embrace and create trouble for yourself. A heartwarming welcome to another. You guys all came here, BF. Did you look around and smile with your eyes? You didn't. I noticed. In fact, you happily just sit in your corner and observe noble silence. Just meditate. Like at home cannot meditate, come here then meditate. Here is where you greet another and bow hi and smile and practice your metta. Practice it. Embrace another. Help another. In BA, a very good place to practice because everybody will smile back at you. Not outside in the lift, you smile at people, then people are like, wow, xiao eh. But even then, you can smile. Even then, good day. How are you today? I hope you have a good day today. Something like that. Be friendly, be kind. Get out of yourself. Be generous and share your resources. By resources, I'm not talking. Generosity people usually associate with money or gift. No. Generosity has a lot of parts that are intangible. When was the last time you responded kindly to a call for help? It's a simple one. Someone said, "Could you do me a favor?" When was the last time you helped someone when asked? When was the last time you put aside your own time that you wanted for yourself? Because time is a finite resource. The notion of time is a finite resource. And for many of us, we will give money, but we won't give time. I know that. BF has a lot more money than time. The people who are willing to come forward and serve, that number is very small. So I will urge you to carry your skill and offer it somewhere. It's very meaningful to be able to do something for someone else. Just think about that. And you know what's a good thing? You can write it down into your little journal. Today I served. And that counts for a few points. It's very competitive, we all. But do serve. You just give money, it's like that, lor. You buy service, lor. But if you offer your time, whether it's to an organization or to individual, go down to 仁慈 and help there, to do something, right? To do something once a week. Okay, high, tall order. Once a month. The odds are you haven't done it the last 12 months. Which means that 12 months that has passed, right now is, okay, that year that has passed, what have you done for another? Don't know lah. Oh, my family. But it's still about you, you see. If it is your family, it's still about you. If your children. If it's your parents, it is about them. But if it's your children, it's still about you. Do you think, you understand that? Okay? So, time, blood, it's a physical resource, money, those are gifts. So be generous with gifts, tangible, intangible. Those are gifts. The really hard ones are not the gifts. The really hard generosity are your ego, letting go of your negativity. Letting go of negativity counts as generosity. If you are angry with someone, there is a part in you that I refuse to let go of this anger. I refuse to let go of the anger. Just watch your mind. It's very sticky. It takes generosity to say, yeah, it's okay. Just let it be. And then you cough the anger away. Very tricky. Generous with your words. Kind with your words. You are sharing. So what kind of resource is that? You're sharing your joy, lor, sharing your kindness, lor. It's a powerful resource. Let me ask you, when you are down, when you are sad, someone came and sat next to you, saying nothing but just there. Eventually, the fellow affirms, the fellow comfort. Is that the fellow you remember? Because that kindness is really touched you to the core. Have you done something like this for another? If you haven't, do it. Okay? Be generous with your daily life. I'm talking about daily life. I'm not talking about, okay, next year I have the same thought, you come back, I did once, last year I did once. Okay, that doesn't count for right, huh? Reflect on mortality. The Buddha actually said, in many parts in the sutta, he told his disciples, both Sangha and lay people, that it is important to constantly remind yourself that time is running out in this life. We don't know when we will drop dead. The battery of this body runs out. We don't know that. We assume, looking at national statistics and very reassuring World Bank or World, United Nations records that say Singapore's life expectancy is 84 years, then we're very happy. Like we are part of that 84 years. So the national average for a child born today, by the way, when they talk about life expectancy, is the child born today, he will have 84 expected years. You were born in I don't know when. You need to go to that year and check life expectancy of that year is what. Then that becomes your national average. So the ones who were born in the 1960s, you don't be so happy, okay? Your life expectancy is 70-something. Ish. The ones who are born a bit earlier, that is a bit lower. Then you say, oh, I've already crossed the national average. Broadly. You understand? So, why reflect on mortality? Because it's a given, number one. But number two, it instills in you a sense of urgency. If you feel that time is running out, for instance, you get diagnosed with terminal ailment, and the doctor very kindly offers you 3 months. Straight away, you have a checklist of things you must do. After the first part will be crying and telling the people who you love, say goodbye lah. Suddenly you like Chinese New Year that I must meet this person, I must meet that fella, I must go and call this, Suddenly like Chinese New Year, go and visit everybody. One last this, one last that, no. Then down to the last 24 hours, 48 hours. Oh, must do more of this. That's only because you knew around that time. But the reality is we don't even know if we're going to be dead tonight or the next minute. That kind of thing, right? The scary thing is we were never given like a sell-by date. Our manufacturer didn't put down there use by. Don't have, right? So guess lah, you guess. Then we are so good at guessing, we all assume it's going to be 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Oh, so we still got time, right? Created all those time for ourselves. And Buddha, ever so practical, tells you, reflect on end is near. Why? Because when you do that, the way you see the world changes. Suddenly, observant, affirming your faith, being wholesome, being generous, all these takes priority. The anger that you have for someone when you were childhood, you don't even remember why, he also doesn't remember why, but the two of you decide you're not talking to each other. That kind, you know what, I'll just reach out and forget it. Just make peace. Suddenly it matters when mortality is in the game. You see what I'm saying? So, on a daily basis, when you wake up in the morning, or when you go to bed at night, or when you are in the toilet doing nothing, take one moment to remind yourself, oh, time is running out. I don't know when my time will end, but I know I'm now closer to the end. Every time you look into the mirror, you must say to the image in the mirror, you are one day closer to the end. If you do that every day dutifully, within a certain period of time, your whole outlook of life will change. The first day when you do it, you look in the mirror and say, you're one day closer to the end. Then there's a part that say, But don't care already lah. You go on and do your thing, okay? There's a part of you that does that. Day 1. Day 2, stupid Sister Sylvia. Make me do stupid things like that. You're closer one day to the end. Then you're so angry. So in denial, right? It's a bit of anger, right? Then you say, maybe I do a lot. That third day you will look at the mirror and say, your time is coming one day closer to the end. Then, no, I do a lot of good things. Should be okay lah. Not so fast lah. You go and sabotage your own effort, right? So you do little things. You do until one day you look at the mirror and say, yeah, it's true. Indeed, it's like 6 days closer to the end already. You know what I'm saying? A day will come when you will wake up. Wake up to your own mortality. Wake up to your own mortality. And the transformation starts. You will be different. I guarantee. Why? Because I sit with the Buddha's promise out there. Your mind will change. The challenge is, do you dare do it? Do you dare do it? And you cannot tell me you don't have time. You're on the toilet bowl, what time you're talking about? Surely you have time. Or you're brushing your teeth. Surely you have time. Just remember that. Huh? Just for a short while. Every day. It has to be done every day. The end will come. Or get the full works. The end will come. I will grow old. I will grow sick. The end will come. The only thing I carry with me is karma. The only thing I move on to the next life is karma. You tell yourself like this, you will change. So you want a solid kick to get you started on the practice, do this. This is the one. Okay? Try on a daily basis. Try. On a daily basis, remember to use the word, I am content. Okay? So like a lot of things to do, but you try. Just say it again. Initially, you don't believe it. Initially, you think, I already content, why am I saying it? You just say it. Faith, right? Just say it. Why that? Because you're telling your mind, you are reminding yourself that this practice is about training the mind to be contented so that it reduces its desire, its craving. It reduces that. And when craving is toned down, what happened to you? DFC2. When craving is toned down, what happened to you? Yesterday's class, I know you know. I can see from your eyes, you have read your mind, okay? I know you guys know. You're too shy to say. I say for you lah. Dukkha. Yeah. So telling yourself, I'm content, is to reduce that craving. Reduce that instinct to crave, to want. And when you reduce that, the mind is generally light. It's automatic. You don't sit down there and say, I don't want dukkha. Then it won't work. Conditional arising. What will bring down suffering is the sense that you are contented. It's just like that. I don't want any smart aleck to ask the question, then if we are not really contented, please check with number 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to number 1, 2, 3, 4. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will come. They all flow. It's deliberate, okay? They all flow. Okay. This is the meditation one. Time out. Can or not? Set aside time to go smart device free. So, if you tell yourself, I'm very kind, just 10 minutes. You start with, okay, when I'm eating my food for 10 minutes, I will not touch the smart device. Put it aside. You just challenge yourself. Basically, what we are doing here is for you to pull out pockets in the day. So during routine activities, brushing teeth, washing face, bathing, all the toilet activities are routine. You got to do them daily in the modern age. Ancient time, they don't bathe for months. But modern age, it's a daily routine, right? So when you take a bus to go somewhere or you drive to go somewhere, those are all daily routines. When you're cooking for your family, unless you say today we do take out, but when you're cooking and preparing food, all these are daily activities. So in all your daily activities, which probably amount to quite a bit of time, you take that, squeeze a bit of time for mindfulness practice. What does it mean? Paying attention. When you are doing it, you are paying attention to what you are doing. Don't let that attention wander off. If it wanders off, you tell yourself, come back to this activity. And you want to make it easier, not so onerous, you just do 10 minutes. Must be 10 minutes lah. 5 minutes like really short. You must just say 1 minute. So it's about 5-10 minutes. 10 minutes is good, okay? Just do that. If you want to reach for your remote control to turn on the TV, can you stretch out that length of time? You know what I'm saying? Just stretch it out a bit. Do everything slower. Slow down your speed so that you can pay attention and drag it out. When you go off to take your mask, because now it's a routine activity, when you go and take your mask, slowly reach out, put it on your face, ring the ring around your ear, drag it out. All these daily activities. You can do this. You can do these things. You have done your time out. Okay? Now, of course, periodic catching of the breath. So, when you start to put mindfulness on breathing, at some point, you do it often enough, at some point, as you are walking, your mind goes back to breathing. Even sitting down here, listening, your mind goes back to breathing. Okay? And finally, you see, so generous. Ideally, set aside dedicated time for meditation. Ideally. Now, Beng Hok conducts a class ever so often. You're really lucky because once upon a time when he started was 5 people. Right, Eileen? 5. Then back, 10. Then back, some more, 15. Then we squeeze in another 2 more. Because you cannot tell, you cannot count, right? So you squeeze in a few more. He's getting there. 30, but no, he draws that hard. It's a hard limit now. You squeeze in 1 more, he'll know. It's a very hard limit. Go learn. Go learn from him. He's really good and very patient. Very, very patient. Yeah. And you make sure that minimally when you walk out of his class, you know how to do it. Whether or not you do it, he cannot guarantee. But you know how to do it right. Okay? Finally, put a little time aside daily to read or listen to the Dhamma. Make notes, add reflection, be disciplined. Make notes means you don't just read and la bye-bye, I've done my 10 minutes. No, read already, think about it, make some notes, so that it helps you remember. Be disciplined means if you say, I will start doing it today, and I'll do it 3 times a week, you make sure you deliver 3 times a week. Because, now this one says daily lah, but start small, start modest, right? Start modest, okay, 3 times a week lah. But make sure you do 1 to 6 lah. Then number 7, 3 times a week lah. Just a little bit. A little bit daily keeps you anchored on the teaching. It keeps your mind anchored on the teaching, okay? And this part, having periodic Dhamma discussion with your Kalyana Mita. Kalyana Mitas means wholesome, good friends. Do you all have Buddhist friends? How many of you say, I don't have? So everybody has, is it? Don't have, I will do dating for you. BF offers Dhamma pairing services. All have, And don't go and ask Eileen for, I need to find some Dhamma friend, what would you recommend? Eileen, just now you never put on your head. Okay. If you need, you can come to BF, come for classes. For sure, you'll find a whole bunch of them there. They're all like you, same pattern. Okay? Have fun and enjoy the learning. The Dhamma, please don't look at those books as if they were like a very scary, hell night experience. No. They are all beautiful. Start with Dhammapada. That's why I say start with Dhammapada. Got stories one. Don't start with Jataka. Stories not real. Some of them. But Dhammapada, most of the stories there, all the stories there probably, because it's something that they kept for themselves. They reminded themselves. So, lovely. Online you can get for free. 30 years ago when I started on my quest, right, everything you must pay money. For young officer, it was very expensive. But now they're all free. This wonderful Sangha has put them all online. Okay. The one thing that we all have in common, and no one is discriminated against, right, is the notion, the idea of 24 hours to use. No one can steal that 24 hours. It's by your choice. You made your choices how you want to distribute that 24 hours. And for most of us, in the manner we distribute, we tend to be biased towards pleasure, delight and pleasure. So you know what you do? Make sure the Dhamma is delightful and a pleasure. The Dhamma is delightful and a pleasure to have that constant engagement. Right? And so don't see it as a duty, an obligation. It is so hard that you put it separate. Macam work and life like that. Dhamma is not work. You understand? For many of us, we are very territorial about our free time from office and work. COVID has brought work home, unfortunately. But Dhamma is different. Dhamma is just essentially transforming the way you do things, changing the way you see things, understand things, changes that. The more you incorporate the correct, wholesome mental states, the more you incorporate these mental states into your mind, the more you shift in the way you see things in the world. The more you change in the way you see the world, the easier it is for the right mental states to arise. What are right mental states? Mental states that gives you pleasure, that makes your mind soft, that helps you to be happy, instead of sucking the life out of you because you're so miserable. Dhamma does not make you miserable. It's because of understanding and practice that your mind becomes light and happy. Really happy, really joyous. Okay? no regrets when this life ends. No regrets. Don't wait until deathbed, then come and regret. So you are able, if you are able to cultivate all, to embed into your daily life all 7 parts, all 7 parts, you start doing it over just within a week, maybe 3 days. If you do it 7 parts, don't like pick and choose. Today I do number 1. What you think, mask color? Today I do number 1. Tomorrow I'll do number 2. No, all 7 parts. Try and make it natural for you. Then once it becomes natural for you, you're living in the Dhamma already. This is your practice. When they all became natural for you. So every day, go before the Buddha shrine, morning, evening, whichever time you want. Yours is lunchtime, also can. Must it be at home? No need. In the office, put a little Buddha shrine, just a little one there, just a little one there. In the office, just take a bow there. Also can, Buddha not fussy one. He not fussy. Can I put him in my car? Also can, take him for a ride. There's a bow down there, just a little bit. It's a reminder. It's really just a reminder. How much time does that take from you? Seriously. Okay? Then, for those of you who really want it to be more symbolic, more meaningful, okay, find a space in a house, find a space there, put it in a position where you can bow in respect. And that's it. That counts for your quiet spot in the house. But I rent a room. Put it in your room lah. Something like that lah. So then be wholesome. Be wholesome is just a reminder. Don't let the anger get away from you. Every time you got nasty things to say, just hold it down a bit, calm it down, calm your mind, all these nice things that your mother taught you before, ma. I'm just reminding you only. So that's be wholesome for the day. And the only thing I ask that is new is at the bottom part, in your handphone, put a little column, give yourself time to just note. Then you're so lazy to note every day, then note it once a week lah. Monday 好像没有做东西. I didn't do anything on the Monday. Tuesday I helped this person. It's a reminder that you have been wholesome, that you have done the right thing by the teaching. Then be generous, little bits of it. Reflect on mortality. Every time you look in the mirror, please look. Okay, I teach you. Because we all look at mirror a lot. Go into the lift, look at mirror. Go into the toilet, look at mirror. Go into the supermarket, got mirror, look into mirror. Every time you look at mirror, see mortality. I've become really adventurous, really ambitious. Instead of go toilet, see once a day, like every time see the mirror, see your death. Then maybe you stop looking into the mirror. Ew, this is so horrible. But no, seriously. You want a reminder, right? I give you a reminder, lor. Look into your watch, got reflection. Oh, mortality. Okay? You keep doing that to yourself. Keep doing that. Because mortality, once it takes a grip of your mind, initially it's hard. You're uncomfortable. After a while, you will accept you're comfortable. When you accept and you're comfortable, the time comes, you're no scared. You're not afraid anymore. You're used to it. Then the transition is easy and peaceful. Okay? What else are you supposed to do? Be contented. Bit of time. Do a bit of reflection, time out for the mind. All these can be done. It's habit. All these becomes habit. And you're into it, really. You're into the flow of the Dhamma practice. Okay, one final question. And I will scan the room for answers. I want to see your hands up, right? How many of you say, of the 7 steps there, we can do 1? Only 1, Eileen, seriously, only 1? No. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, okay? How many of you say, I can do only 1? I better not be up. How many will say, no problem, 2? 3? Hey, think carefully, think carefully. 3? 4? Okay, I tell you what, let me give you the thing so that you can remember better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, see for yourself, 7. 7 of them. Okay, now we start again. You can tick in your mind, quickly tick in your mind, tick. Tick, finish already or not? Finish ticking? Okay, now I ask you, how many says I can do only 1? I very no standard. Then how many will say, my standard a little bit better, I can do 2? Who says 3? Who says 3? 4? All right, 4. Well done. 5? 5. Wonderful. 6? Wonderful. I'm now so proud of you. And who says 7? 7. Hello, Eileen. I take stone throw leh. Then break my be wholesome already. 7, right? 7. All can. You are too modest. You are scared to commit before Buddha. Number 2 is difficult. Wholesome? Okay, good point. I will give you discount. How many will say, I try to be wholesome? Oh, now I understand why it wasn't all 7 up. Who say, I will try to be wholesome? Huh? Okay, better now? Now can 7 already. Hey, I really like you guys, also honest. I would like 7. Also quiet. You're all lawyer, huh? All legal trained, huh? Okay, now. No lies? Yeah. Why? They are trying to keep false precepts. Why trying? It should be natural, right? No, that's why when you say they cannot do, so they will put Fourth precept easy. The 4 negative speeches are hard. 4 negative ones: lying, slander, harsh speech, and frivolous talk. That one is hard. Frivolous talk. What is frivolous talk? They got nothing to say already. Any talk that leads to an increase in your greed and anger and delusion, those talks, reduce. Discount. You want to discount there. Okay? I tell you something. This one on slander, right? You see, I will sit back and I ask myself, how can everything, because he's teaching this as if they are all part of life. Buddha's teaching on right living, right? His teaching on right living must be 100% applicable. It must be there all the time, staring at you in the face. So I ask myself, okay, lying, yes, I understand. It's very natural. Harsh speech, I absolutely understand. Because everyone surely in the day kena once or twice. Either they say it or someone say it to them. Because it's good. Even little things like, don't put there lah. That's a harsh speech, by the way. Huh? Yes. Why? Because it's an expression of anger, irritation. So any speech that spills out of your mouth, which is a reflection of annoyance, irritation, even very subtle, the words that come up, not nice. It can be very subtle. No lah, where God? This kind of, you mean those count as harsh speech? You go look at your mind, when those words come out, you happy mood, is it? Who happy mood say, where God? Who? No have, right? When you have this kind of tone, this kind of body language, it's an expression of annoyance. So in that sense, when the person hearing it, the fellow who's listening to it, cannot feel good. So any speech that creates in the listener a bit of agitation, a bit of mirrored annoyance, right? That speech counts as wrong speech. Then some people will say, but what if he's too sensitive? Too sensitive, then okay, his fault lah, not yours lah. But then next time, when you open your mouth, make it nice speech. So beautiful, he cannot mistake it, that it is kind speech. So I can teach you some things. I can teach you some things that will calm down another's mind. And in the manner that you say it, it won't create misunderstanding. Number one, lower your tone. Okay, it can sound intimidating, but lower it, slow it down, make it gentle, make it soft. You put in this, you pack it with this kind of characteristics, you cannot mistake it. It will, so make it soft, make it slower, soft, slower, lower. Have you listened to yourself talk? When you scold, right, pitch goes up, speed goes up, volume goes up. Opposite of all those means it's coming down. That's all. Okay? Wait. No.
Oh, okay. But sometimes you can speak in a lower tone, but with a lot of anger. You know, it's hidden inside.
That is the words. You think I don't know, is it? Like that, right? It's the words lah. It's the things that you say.
No, you can feel the anger that is.
Yes.
Yes. Latent inside.
Okay. So what I was trying earlier, it's contextual. All must be contextual. What I was trying earlier is, if you want to convey something to another and you know it is sensitive, so one way to take out that sting, is to calm your voice down, lower it, make it slower, and so on and so forth. If you both are in a fight and you are really upset, yes, you are right, it can be slower, softer, and all. Not necessarily softer, but you're right, it can be. But you are already in the context of a fight. Both sides know each other. It's angry. Or if, let's say, it's not in a fight, but the way you stand, your body all tense up. If you're really very relaxed, right? If you're really relaxed and your words are gentle, the odds are you're not angry lah. Unless you're super actor. In which case, Academy Award goes to you, lor. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're talking about general context. Of course, there can be that unique one, which is a little bit out of the ordinary. But I'm saying that we are all not unique. We're all quite common. Our reaction is a bit more regular, Then all these advice will help. Okay?
Any more questions? So that you become intelligent in next life, huh?
No need lah, this life intelligent already. That you are all here already says that there is wisdom. We have wisdom. What do we mean by wisdom? Wisdom is when we ask ourselves, how do we cultivate ourselves so that we can bring welfare, benefits, happiness to ourselves and to another. Wisdom is like that. Intelligence merely means you can resolve a problem faster. You can understand an issue. So it's about speed of understanding. But the output of that may not lead to a better outcome for everyone. Intelligence merely means you can do things better, faster. better, faster. You can figure out solutions faster. So, example, you're so brilliant, you made a nuclear bomb. So you can kill a lot more at one go. But is that wisdom? No. Killing is not wisdom. Killing does not create greater benefits and happiness for people's welfare, for everyone. It doesn't do that. Wisdom does that. Intelligence doesn't. Can they be together? Yes. You can be very intelligent and wise. You can be wise but not intelligent. Possible. You can be unwise and stupid. Possible, because they're two separate qualities. They're not identical. Okay? I don't even know why
from
I'm going
Facebook.
there. Huh?
We have one question from Facebook. So the others online, if you have questions, please ask now instead of waiting till the end.
It's almost the end.
Yeah. Is meditation that important? Also, next question is, can we just practice what you have shared? Two questions in one from one person.
That's a good question. I don't know what is meant by that important, because there's something very subjective there. I usually say this: if you are serious about completely understanding his teaching properly and be able to experience the benefits of that teaching, meditation is then non-negotiable. Why? Because our regular mind drifts too much, get distracted too much, always looking for stimulation here, there, everywhere. Our regular mind does not have that focus. Regular mind does not have that steady focus to be able to discern the features of reality. Does not have that ability. You had an earlier meditation, mindfulness practice exercise, right? And everybody spotted the butt contact point, the hand contact point, the leg contact point, and most of you forgot the mask contact point, and certainly nobody saw the clothes contact point. And this is a body, you know. This is in your face, literally sometimes. And you don't see it because mindfulness not sharp, concentration not sharp. You now want to catch the subtle features of the mind? How? How do you catch the subtlety of the arising of feelings, the subtlety of feelings, the subtlety of perceiving, the subtlety of the thought arising and start running? How do you catch those? If you can't catch those, then you may not be able to associate the teaching, the concepts, to features of regular life, daily life. Can't catch. So you've asked me, is it necessary to learn meditation? Necessary to practice calming down the mind and helping the mind become steady, focused, attentive, and therefore better able to catch subtleties of the mind. Without meditation, cannot happen. But the next question, which is equally important, is how long? Depends on the quality of your sitting. If in the sitting, the mind goes quiet, you feel the joy, you can see without a lot of effort, it stays present. That's good. I don't need the mind to into the vast wilderness. No need. Steady, calm, pleasant sensation. Why the pleasant sensation? When the mind is focused, it has no craving, the pleasantness will arise by itself. So you feel joy in the sitting. You feel that your mind is quite happy to kind of just squat there and not roam all over the place. That's it. That's what you need. Do this often enough, the mind in daily life is now clear. The focus, the attention, the steadiness, the balance is good enough. You're ready to now go and examine your mind and see the correlation of the teaching to what's there. Why you need all these things? Because you have got craving. They won't go away without help. You use the Dhamma as anchor and help to help the mind eventually learning to let go. Letting go is not instruction. You try giving instruction, let go. I tell you, let go. I tell you, you let go. The fellow will, what fight is it? What? That's why it's so hard for all of us. It's so hard. Didn't follow the path properly, impossible to let go. Impossible. So that's the first part of the question. Is it that necessary? It is necessary if you want to see Dhamma. If you only want a happy life, attend DFC 1. Enough. Quite happy already. What's the second part of the question?
Can we just practice what you have shared?
My number 6 is actually about calming down the mind. Yes, you can. If all you are doing is just this at bare minimum, yes, you can. And you do this very well, I can almost guarantee, in fact, no need almost, I'll guarantee you. You can do all 7. The 6th one, big time out for the mind. You can do all 7. Meditation will not be a chore. It will be a pleasure. Okay? How many of you finds meditation very hard? Kakak lai. The rest of you will meditate, right? Never meditate, I know, right? Don't worry. You do these things. Don't worry about the steps. You do what I said to you earlier. Make the mind light, make the mind happy. When you sit, the mind wants to just sit down there and squat there quietly. No need try so hard. You try very hard to prevent the mind from drifting. I will tell you, your daily life is just very busy. You have a lot of things to think about. You allow your mind to drift all over the place. So the mind doesn't come, your mind is not behaving like a homing pigeon, you see. Your mind is behaving like a bird in flight. It just fly over. A homing pigeon will always come back. It always comes back. So paste a picture of a homing pigeon in front of you. You'll remember. Give it soft, kind, cheerful, light. All these mental states are necessary to help the mind settle. People believe that to get it right is to follow the steps right. But no, getting meditation right is about setting the correct condition. And the correct condition includes kindness, softness, gentleness, patience. If you start meditation smiling, right? Practice a smile, practice a bit. You start the meditation smiling, with the lightness in your heart, then the mind will settle by itself. It settles by itself. If you keep telling the mind, can you stop wandering? Come back here, come back here. If you keep telling your mind that, it will say, why should I? This is no fun. The breath is no fun. But the breath is fun when the breath comes with pleasure, delight. Then it becomes fun. That's why if you look at how the Buddha talks about, when he describes the jhanic mental states, right? The jhanic mental states. Right at number 1, piti sukha. First level, piti. Piti is that joy, pleasure. Sukha is happiness. The two of them comes together. So typically, if you get it right, by just sitting already, so happy. Now I can take out my phone, my boss wouldn't call me, I will have all the time to enjoy my pleasure, my joy. This is called the pleasant, the Buddha said there are two practices in the world. Painful and pleasant. Going to meditation and allowing this mind to settle with the help of samadhi, it's pleasant. This is the pleasant approach. Okay?
Okay, another question. Sister Sylvia, do you have tips on how we can think of these habits not as work or obligation? For example, as soon as I finish meditating, I immediately reach out for my phone because I feel like I was deprived of my happiness.
Then you didn't have pleasure from the sitting. I tell you what, huh? On all the other steps, you can expand it. I will teach you how to expand the fun ones. So, affirming faith quite fun, right? Do you ever feel fun? I ask you, if I ask you, what is the wholesome mental states that comes most naturally to you? The wholesome mental state, okay? And I ask you, you have to give me one word. If you go, sorry, meditation very hard for you, okay? If I asked you, you give me your one word. Can? Can? So you ask me, I say gratitude. You ask me, I say metta. Something like that lah. So you get it, huh? Okay? Eileen, what's yours? Kindness, yes. In fact, you have a lot. Metta, faith, gratitude, you name it. Eileen is where she gets them all. Do you all meditate? What's yours? Gratitude. Okay, now we start from there. Contentment, wonderful.
Next.
Anybody want to share? Over there? Drowsy is not a happy mental state. So you must find out for yourself what's a happy mental state for you.
Peace.
Peace? Okay. For you it's peace. Okay. What else? Who has faith? Faith as a mental state. Who has kindness? I need to say kindness. Whose is gratitude? Gratitude. Whose is, what else do you have? Metta. Friendliness. Okay? You all need to find out for yourself your trigger. Whatever comes most natural. If you have more than one, congratulations, you can pick any one. If you have only one, you got to do more. Peace is a hard one. It is not easy. Faith is an easy one. So what do? You practice. Faith you can practice. Every day, put a glass of water there, put some flowers, take a bow, say to the Buddha, I am grateful for the Dhamma. I believe this teaching will help me develop, cultivate to be a better person. Whatever you say something. Don't do it like it's a chore. Put flower, after that must clean flower. Sudala. Make it something you enjoy doing. Maybe when you go buy flowers, gives you a little joy. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm going to put new flowers before the Buddha's shrine. Why you do these things? Because you're building certain mental states. And you have to build it. Otherwise, that meditation you're trying to achieve will not be smooth. Will not be smooth. If you want to build metta as a mental state, my advice to you is, every time you open your door to go out into the world, you say, hello world, and grin at the world. Nobody can see you, never mind. Make sure it reaches your eyes. No, I'm serious. I am very serious. Walk into the lift, make sure your mind is, I wish everyone here a good day. You say it, you don't say it, it's up to you. But you do it and you do it and you do it until it comes natural for you. You must have these kind of mental states. If not, very hard for the mind to sit. Because the mind, not very smart, it will go to something it's most familiar with. If you do not have familiarity with some positive mental states, then what do you have? Familiarity with negative ones. Then you're in trouble. Meditation is very hard. If you have very strong views, right and wrong, strong views, righteousness type, very hard. Your mind also very hard to settle. The mind settles best when it is cheerful and light and content and easygoing, so that it's soft. You tell me, burden heavy or not? Burden heavy or not? If it's a burden, it's heavy. Your mind in meditation, light or heavy? Light. Can you see the distinct? You want the mind lightly to lift, but you tie it down with rules and steps and views. Jialat. He wants to rise, also cannot rise. No air to rise. It's dragged down by you, you see. So all your assumptions about meditation must be the steps. Look for the breath at the tip of your nose. That one I find most objectionable. Because you spend weeks looking for a breath, then you found it, now you cannot get rid of it. The mind becomes obsessed. Wrong. Buddha never taught that way. What did the Buddha teach? The lightness of the mind. That's why he kept emphasizing on wholesome mental states. Lightness of the mind. Kindness, mindfulness, gentle, Then you sit down and it's ready. Try so hard to find a breath. You're breathing all the time. This body is breathing by itself. So, contact points, pressure points, for you to anchor this body. What do you think is called rupa vachara? Rupa is body, form. Anchor the mind on the form and then settle into the form. Breathing is the form. Don't artificially create. You cannot get anywhere with Mao Pai Huo. You cannot get anywhere with artificial creation. Okay? Meditation. Number one, mind must be light. Find for yourself. Number one, mind must be light. Find for yourself. Know for yourself what is that wholesome mental state easiest for you to trigger. If it's the Buddha, very easy. All you need to do is sit down, the mind, Buddha, boom, lightness arises, just like that. Metta, not may I be well and happy, may you be well and happy, it doesn't work like that. Metta is sit, think of this joy that comes out when you wish another well. Can you see? I wish that everyone's fine. Then there's a joy. I start already. Gratitude, you sit down and say, I'm grateful for this really good life. I'm grateful to my parents, See a bit of words, it will happen. The joy must arise for you. Okay? I think I went all over the place.
Okay, last chance for the on-site people, or else we will close.
Close.
Okay. You have one question?
No,
Sis Sylvia, you want to take or close?
No. I will take.
Okay.
Who has a question? Oh, please. Do say.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, how do you maintain loving friendliness or metta in certain situations or roles that you play in the working environment where you need to get people to get certain work done and being friendly isn't going to help?
Okay, it's a good question. Metta must be practiced as part of... When the occasion never calls for it, the metta must be present. Meaning to say, you practice metta regardless. Regardless. People there, people not there, whatever. Just do it as a natural exercise. Think of the mind like your body. If you lift weight, and you constantly, every day you lift weight, at some point, I need you to carry that 10 kilo of rice, no problem. Agree? If you run, and every day you run a little longer and longer and longer, and one day you need to run away from a tiger, you can run very fast and very far. Right? Practice. The same thing, your mind also needs practice. If every day you wake up, smile at the world, smile at yourself, you just try. Initially a bit awkward, smile at the ceiling, very awkward. But you keep doing that until the smile is a natural state for you. Then when the occasion calls for it, there's agitation around you, your mind will squat with that metta. It's a natural state. You don't wait until you need the toilet, then you look for it. It's a Chinese expression. You do it as a natural state until it becomes second nature. Then when conflict happens, tension happens, stress level goes up, etc., you may not have the full-blown metta, but your mind is familiar with that mental state. So at that point, if for whatever reason you need to up the dose of metta, it comes very naturally. So you must practice in daily life. Okay? That's it? Okay. I will give you one more slide. It's my favorite. I cannot find another one that is quite like that. So therefore, because I couldn't find another one, you are stuck with this. It's a reminder to all of us that we must put into practice the teachings of the Buddha. And one of the things that he taught us was be wholesome and be giving. So I encourage everyone to, with some regularity, donate, support, help. Bring your service to somewhere in need and help. A reminder that we must never take for granted the blessings we are enjoying in this life. As others before us had done right, we must continue to do right for those that come after. And finally, may we continue to enjoy the right conditions for learning and practice, and may we never deviate from the Dhamma as long as life lasts. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Let us invite all sentient beings to participate in our acquired merits. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi Sambadang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Let us dedicate the merits of participating in a wholesome Dhamma activity to our departed relatives and friends. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. End of service dedication. I dedicate the merits which I have accumulated to the cultivation of my mind in order to bring happiness and benefits to all sentient beings. I dedicate the merits to my parents, children, spouse, relatives, friends, colleagues, and my adversaries, wishing them long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity. May we never part from the Triple Gem, and may we always walk the path towards enlightenment. Let us pay respects to the Triple Gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you once again, brothers and sisters, for coming, and thank you, Sister Sylvia, for the wonderful talk to remind us to practice in our daily life. So those who are staying for meditation, just leave the cushions here, pile them together.